deadline. It's the only way they make deadlines, because otherwise, oh my gosh, otherwise, it's bad. It's bad. Anyway.
Get it. I get it.
Well, let's take a look at
See,
let's take a look at Jen's stuff. No, she's got the camera following it.
Yeah, I did another constraint where it follows the location,
yeah.
and then another constraint where the camera tracks something that's parented to the camera or to the wheel rig. But can you show your screen? If I know what it looks like, but Tony doesn't. Oh wait, Tony
I'm
does.
sharing my screen.
Oh, okay.
You know, I gotta say this. Actually, I think it was the second exercise.
Oh, here it is.
That we did, and I did the Jeep with the giraffe. I did all this stuff.
Okay.
So I did do it, but I did it way early on.
Huh.
But yeah, the giraffe does all this stuff.
So that's turning. Okay, so it's turning.
Yeah. That looks great, Jen.
Thanks. Yeah, that's the. So let's see if there's anything interesting in here. I've got a render that accompanies.
You gotta show.
Yeah, let me show the render. So, but she had through the camera view here. So if I just play it, you get to see.
Yeah, the render view looks way.
I mean, isn't that concept of being able to get your wheels to roll with the movement of your car is just so simple?
Oh my gosh, the fact that you could copy and paste
the
freaking drivers.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? It's just simple.
Yes.
I mean, how much work you have to put in the Lightwave to make this happen? You know?
Oh my gosh. Well, you remember Dr. Expression?
No.
That's relativity.
Relativity.
It was Dr. This, Dr. That, Dr. Emily, Dr. It was a very cute and friendly.
There.
Yes, the MP4 and the images. It includes.
All right. I want to. Today, I definitely want to cover fine tuning this. As if you can fine tune it. You can fine tune it.
I've got the wheel images in the images folder if you want to see my source.
Okay. All right. So now look at the wheels. Now, if you want to get the wheels to actually see that all that brick that you have on there, if you made that a displacement map, it will interact with every single one of those little bumps.
That is true, but what I did, because I was pressed for time, like, although at the render level, it's displacing the cobblestones at the render level, because I enabled bump and displacement, and I enabled adaptive subdivision applied to the ground.
But did you apply the bump as a displacement to the geometry?
It's happening at the render level, which means that it's not being seen by those wheels.
Okay.
It's happening. If I wanted to, I could have applied it another subdivision so that it was even finer. But it's only the 30 by 30 that the wheels see because.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're right. If I had finely grained it in the OpenGL so that the wheels.
So if I go here. All right. So. All right, stop. Just
so like if you finally subdivide it in the OpenGL, it should do exactly what you
right.
expect.
So you did not. So what Jen did not do was apply the cobblestone directly to the geometry.
Okay. It's happening in the render engine. The information is there.
Yeah.
To bring it forth, you're gonna have to. I think you're gonna have to subdivide it. I think
that's right. So, I see. So you,
level.
but you see it, but it's there, but you didn't subdivide your geometry so it can work.
In the sense that I'm using adaptive subdivision.
Yeah.
For the rendering.
Exactly.
So you're getting all the curvature there.
All right.
But in this one, try adding a subdivision modifier and see if it brings forth the cobblestones, and if it doesn't, then I'm wrong.
All right, let's see. Give me a second. Turn that on. Okay, it's subdivided.
It's subdivided, yeah,
but you may need to subdivide
it. Cobblestone detail out of that.
No, if you go in here and maybe do it another. Let's give this another level of subdivision. Do 2 more levels. That might work. I mean, I can probably do one more just to be safe. There we go. And now we'll shut up. Stop.
And
Stop
I
it.
do have also the cloud displacement on top. So it's two displacements: cobblestone
Yeah.
on the material and the cloud texture that you demonstrated in class.
All right. Hold on a second. Let me go to object mode. Let's go back over here. Subdivisions is there. Catmull Clark is there. And
So you
yeah,
had an
if
additional modifier before that one that subdivided it in the viewport,
right.
but did not do adaptive subdivision.
There we
It
go.
did
So if you
something
don't,
that
we
was-
can go to this level.
Oh
But
no! I was thinking you can have your cake and eat it too.
right. Well, was adaptive subdivision takes it over completely. And
Oh yeah, but
yeah.
but that at that point, well, you can actually layer the subdivisions
Mhm.
and it'll honor that in the render.
Mhm.
So you can have one that does
Right.
ordinary subdivision, and then the tires will see that,
Right.
and then you can add the adaptive subdivision modifier after that, and the render engine will see that on top of the finely subdivided piece.
Okay.
So you can stack two subdivision modifiers. I've actually done this to speed up my renders.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to check something out here. So now it's subdivided well. So if you applied your stones to this, it should show through. So what I'm guessing is here, if I go, yeah, let's go over here to shading.
Yeah, it's got the bump and displacement. That's the world. So you're gonna have to change it to object.
Okay, so I am not seeing a displacement map in here.
Right, because you're in the world and you're looking at.
Oh, I'm
what
sorry.
you
I'm
are
sorry.
in
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
world.
Okay, go to
See?
object. Got it. Okay, got it. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. All right,
Okay.
so
Oh, there's your normal map right
there's
there.
your displacement there. Okay, let me take a look at this. Displacement is there. Color height. Okay, that's your map here. All right, so I should go
Let's
to.
see what happens if you apply
I
a
got
second subdivision.
just a second. Let me put. I got to go into. I've never had to apply a second subdivision. One always worked for me. I mean, you can. I mean, and I hear what you're saying. There's
And,
no.
and they did do that on V-Ray renders at work, like one subdivision to just finally chop it up, and then the adaptive subdivision got layered on top.
Right here. Let me just do something real quick. I want to add, just add a light in there. Just so I can. There we go. There it is. There it is. There it is. It's there. Okay, I can see it now. But I just wanted to add a light at an angle. In fact, why don't I let's see, what have you got on your wheels? Your wheels, that's all right. I'll just do it this way. Go to my light source. There's my sun. Pointed at this angle. Looks like something's happening. All right, there we go. It's pointed at an angle there. All right, now let's go over to, okay, the surface of this thing. We go over here. Go to my displacement here.
Settings, underneath it, go to settings.
There we
and that's
go.
where you get the bump and displacement. So
Yeah, bump and displacement and bump is all there. Okay, so scale. Come on. I'm just curious. Oh, scales. Okay, let's go to like 2. See what we get. I'm just going to get in close and angle it. Oh, it's really taking a lot of my resources.
if you turn off cycles and just look at plain old OpenGL, it might be better. But remember, like the project constraint, the shrink rec constraint, it only sees what OpenGL sees.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to judge it in OpenGL.
Yeah, so go come up here and go ahead and go
And
out.
so that's where the second no, and you don't have to disable that.
So what was your suggestion?
My suggestion is go to the ground, go to its modifier stack.
Gotcha.
Now, keep that modifier. Don't change it.
And another.
Add a second subdivision.
There it is.
Have it happen before. It must happen before
Yeah.
the other. Wait, why aren't there two?
So you only had one in there when I opened it up.
But but you had to add a second one.
Well, I'm doing it now.
Okay, cool.
It's probably low.
Right.
Okay, subdivision service is there now. Hold on a minute.
And add a second subdivision surface. Move it up before the adaptive sampling one.
And give it a hot minute. It's thinking.
Mm-hmm. But you're in cycles right now.
I am
that's
in.
why it's taking so long.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta move out of cycle. That's what I was doing before. Was moving out of cycles a bit and then trying it. Yes,
So
look at.
So the idea is that the ordinary subdivision surface will act upon the geometry in OpenGL.
Okay,
So
there we go. So if we go, is that
the second one, good. And now look at it in OpenGL and see what it sees.
so, but you want this before the one that you made, right? That's your suggestion.
I want adaptive subdivision to happen last.
Got
that's
it.
what the render engine sees.
So this is adaptive subdivision here. This is standards. No, there's no. Yeah. So this is going to be the normal subdivision here, right?
So go to the OpenGL mode to see what OpenGL sees. Right now you can't see what OpenGL sees.
All right.
It's cycles.
So
you
we
have
got.
to go to the viewport and change it to OpenGL.
All right. Or I usually go to Eevee.
If you go to Eevee, then the second modifier that has adaptive subdivision will no longer do adaptive subdivision in the render engine.
Okay. Interesting. So
I know what's going on, but it's okay if no one else
Right.
knows.
Yeah, but it's working. It's there.
My little secret. It'll be my little secret. Foxy.
Right. It's working. The subdivisions are there. The stones are coming through.
And this is in cycles. Okay, but let's
it's not. It's not in cycles.
I guess we'll never know if my idea ever worked.
Because displacement doesn't. You can't see displacement in Eevee, right? You can only see it in cycles.
You can subdivide geometry
and
in an ordinary way, and that'll show up in OpenGL and Eevee.
Right. That's basically Eevee is your OpenGL.
What I'm trying to get across is you can have your projection cake
and
eat it too.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be a choice between a really high quality render with perfectly curved cobblestones,
right,
and a really good boxy. So you don't have to choose. But the thing is, because you changed it to Eevee, you've sacrificed the quality of your render.
Right, exactly.
If you want accurate motion and a good quality render, you need to be in cycles.
Exactly.
With two subdivision surface modifiers. But I suspect I'm the only one here who can pull this off.
What, in cycles?
Here's what you do. Show us what it looks like in OpenGL.
All right. So walk me through it. I'm going to just walk me through exactly what you want me to do. I want to see
right
Jen's
now,
perspective.
You're in render mode.
Right, I'm in render mode, so go here to the texture mode.
Go to like OpenGL mode.
Talking about this one here.
This is what the wheels are seeing when they go up and down.
Yep.
This is what they see.
What? Right, got that.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Go to the modifier stack for the ground.
Got it. Hold on a second. Get the ground. Let's go to modifier stack from there.
And since we're in Eevee, you might as well kill the second subdivision modifier because we don't need it anymore.
So you're talking about the one on the bottom or the one on the top?
The one on the bottom.
Okay.
All right.
All right, go.
Uncollapsed. Now we're only dealing with what OpenGL sees. So increase the levels viewport to 4.
Okay.
And let's see what it sees. Do we get any definition of cobblestones? And if we don't, the
cobblestones will only show up in cycles. It will not show up in OpenGL. It will not show up in Eevee.
Okay, then I'd have to go back to the drawing board on this.
Right. Eevee, all Eevee is OpenGL. It's just some more. This is just a text. This is just a shading view. No texture. no anything. It's just gray texture. You can only see your OpenGL in texture mode. That's your OpenGL. Here is your actual render mode, which allows you to see all your deformations, all your specular, all your reflections, all of that.
Well, try this. Go back to OpenGL,
Okay.
and let's see if we can use a displace modifier to bring forth the displacement that's on the material.
Right. I've tried that a million times. It won't work. But we can try it.
No.
It will only work in cycles. And unless blenders that have done something different in the new version, it'll only work. It'll show your basic, but it's not going. So right now we should be able to.
In that case, the texture map. That's another way you could do it. Is you could apply the displace modifier.
Right.
Take the displace map that's currently applied to it.
Right.
And then apply to it on the ground.
Right. If I go to cycles mode, it shows up.
Oh
You
yeah,
can-
but we
right?
want it to show up in OpenGL mode.
Well, it won't. Not in Blender. It'll
That's why I
only.
was wondering if the displace modifier, if you double up the texture map so that the displace modifier.
So like if
reveals it.
I double this up here, like you're talking about the subdivision, you want me to double that up, or if I go
Well,
actually go to
I
this.
think
Let me see.
another modifier
Well,
and add
oh,
one
I see. You're
displace
saying
modifier-
add another displace modifier.
one displace modifier before the subdivision.
All right, hold on a second.
Or after, either way, and see if you can bring forth the displaced texture. This might not be a good idea because
Let me check and see.
it could make for really jittery wheels.
All right, so
So let's see, and in the texture map, like there's already a texture map in there. So go to the checkerboard texture in the modifier.
and then
And
utilize. We gotta do new.
Okay, it doesn't see the packed texture map.
Hold on a second. I clicked new, so let's see what's going to happen.
You're on the texture. You're not in the modifier anymore.
I'm down here in the checker. You told me to go to the checkered pattern down here. That's
no,
what I
meant. Oh, go back to the modifier. There was a checkered pattern in the modifier.
All right,
on the
very good.
displace modifier.
kind of
And
does
put it
this.
back on OpenGL.
All
See?
right. There we go.
Uncollapsed displace. Click on the checker. All right, so the pack texture is not available to use in the displace map. Never mind.
Right. I would have to bring it in. I usually bring it in down here. Right.
Yeah,
And go
I was wrong. I was completely wrong. I thought I had a solution for Blender, and I did not.
That's one of the gotchas with Blender, is that all of your absolute high quality detail finalized effects can only be done in cycles. They're making improvements on Eevee, but it's not quite there yet.
I thought like I could use
well,
a texture map to displace.
And I
OpenGL.
remember, and so did I at one time, and I played with it to the hell to play with it to see what I can do inside of Eevee, and it was like, nope. You got to go to cycles. It shows it perfectly. So even today, yeah.
No, I just said darn.
I assume they're working on it, a solution, but according to current philosophy with this technology with NVIDIA and those guys, OpenGL is simply just not a real render. It's not ray tracing. It's just shading. It's all it is.
Well, when you were subdividing it, were you just trying to smooth out the cobblestone?
Yeah, I thought if I was subdividing it, then I can actually see more detail of the cobblestone. That's what I always find. The more subdivisions you put in, the greater the detail and accuracy it will be to your map, your image map.
I thought you could get that with a subdivision modifier instead of having to physically subdivide it.
Yes, you can, but only to a certain extent. And the more you subdivide it, the more it resolves and matches the actual texture. The less you do it, it just does a half-ass job.
So what I thought was what I thought was in OpenGL, and when in OpenGL I mean the gray shaded level. I
Right.
thought at the gray shaded
No.
level
No.
that you could bring forth the texture
No.
with the subdivision modifier.
Nope.
But what
Nope.
were you trying to do then by
I
subdividing
thought
the?
I thought I was following your instructions. I
No,
thought because you made a comment about subdividing, so I thought that's what you wanted me to do.
when you subdivide in the edit mode, it's the same thing as doing applying subdivision in a modifier.
The modifier was subdivided to a certain point and smooth it out. But if the more subdivisions you give, like for every little square polygon in that subdivision, the modifier is actually subdividing each individual polygon overall. So it's giving you a lot more detail and texture.
Oh yeah. If you're doing adaptive subdivision,
Right. Well,
then
all adaptive subdivision means, and it's no more and no less than this, is that anything that's really close to the camera, it's going to give more subdivision to. Anything that's further away, it's going to take away a lot of the subdivision. That's all that is doing.
okay.
Right? And I think it's wonderful. But if you as an artist just want absolute subdivision, you want total control or making sure that everything's got equal subdivision, then you don't use adaptive subdivision. That way it gives you a little better control. I totally hear you. I played around with this. It's kind of like damn. It's this. You got to go to cycles. But good thought process. A really good thought process, and then probably I would think in the very near future, we'll probably have some improvements on the texture, the OpenGL here, where we can actually see more of the subdivision. Because that was my frustration at first, because I kept playing around in the OpenGL mode here, and I said I should be able to see my subdivision. What's going on? It's kind of like, okay, and I did more instruction, more reading, and I realized, okay, you got to be in cycles. There's no if, ins, or buts about it. You can't.
Oh yeah, if you want the adaptive subdivision.
Well, what or non-adaptive? I mean,
It's probably for the best that we don't have the resolution of the cobblestones because it might make for really jittery motion.
well, it depends on what you're doing. I mean, if you're gonna do this professionally, then you just make a bump map, right? Or not a bump map. You just make a normal map and be done with it, right? Professionally, that's what you do. But if you want to do something fine art wise and you want every little crevice to react to the lighting, as you already know because you're a professional, then go ahead and do a displacement map. And then that way you get some visual, wonderful details.
At Encore for the Flash television show, the characters had normal maps and they had displacement maps.
Yeah.
And the way their setup was for displacement was they had a turbo smooth in 3D Studio Max that finally subdivided the character up to a point, but then layered on top of that was
right.
a V-Ray displacement, and that would subdivide. That was adaptive subdivision.
Yeah.
Layered on top, so it was 2 levels of subdivision per character and a normal map.
And I guess the hardware and the video cards are getting so much better at allowing us to use all these different technologies at one time. Before applying V-Ray and all these other, on top of one another, it would kill your rendering times. But things have just gotten so it's improving so much. This is very, very cool. So I figured I was playing around with this, what I showed you guys last week with the wheel. And I figured I want to do a simplified version of this. Just address some little intricacies that I thought would really be helpful. I thought maybe Jim probably caught some of it, but I'm not sure if everybody caught it, so I figured I better just kind of go over it again. Let's see. Am I recording? I think I'm recording. Why does it have a one? Do you see a 3 in the top of the left side screen on your views, guys?
No, I don't.
Okay, so for some reason I got a 1, 2, and 3 from my monitor here, which is telling me what it's recording. You know what it is? I wonder if I accidentally told. I think I accidentally told Zoom to record. Let me tell it to stop recording. Let me hit record again. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna start let me do something new here. Let's go to general. Don't save that. It's and the more I work in Blender, the more you start to remember all these little concepts, and it's kind of like, and you don't get stuck by them. Let's go ahead. I'm going to do this. Let's put down a curve, because we're going to do a curve. We're going to do a curve animation, and we're going to create a terrain, and I'm going to create a little box. And I want that box to not only follow that curve, but I also want to follow the terrain and match the angle of every little bump in that terrain to fine tune it all. So I'm going to go grab a Bezier. I'm going to keep this real simple. Let's go to my curve. Let's go to a nice little Bezier curve. And then I want to show you guys a really cool little tutorial you're going to love. I'm going to go ahead and edit this, okay? So don't follow me just yet, all right? Just watch me for now. So I hear clicking over there. Where is everybody? We're missing a bunch of people. David should be here. He told me he's coming. And
I'm here.
oh, you are there. Oh, there you are.
I've got a headache.
You got a headache. Okay, that's all right. So I'm going to select that there, hit the E key. Now here's some concepts you probably want to keep in mind, right? Say I make some more of these. Hit the E and the E and the E. I'm going to grab that handle and kind of and I'm going to grab that. Go to my transform, flip it around this way. I'm going to extend this again and say that I want to close that curve, right? I want a closed curve. The shortcut is, let's see if I hit Command Alt C. That will close the curve. Alt C for curve. All right. So if I go to tab and go to my object mode, I've got a closed curve. So Alt C. If you want to add more points to your curve, just to, as an FYI, go to your edit. Say I want to select these 2 points right there, and I want to add more points in here. It's the same thing as it's subdivide. Right click, subdivide. It added a point there. If I want to add more points, go over here to subdivide and click 2, 3, 4. All right, that'll help smooth it out. Okay, so I'm gonna just do that for now. I might go over here and add a point in between there. So right click, subdivide. There's one there. I'll probably add another point in here. Right click, subdivide there, and you've got your curve. Now, if I want to make sure all these points are flattened out on the same plane, I'm gonna hit S for scale. Z for the axis we're going to restrict it to, right? And then 0 will flatten it out where it sits. Okay, so that's done. All right, here we go. We're going to use that curve for our little tutorial here. I'm going to get out of here, go to object mode because I'm done playing with my curve. And I'm going to go ahead and add a plane. In fact, I tell you what, why don't you guys just get to this point? Just make a closed curve like I just taught you. Go ahead, use your Bezier, make any shape you want, right? And then Alt-C to close the shape when you're done. And I'll let you get to that point. I'll pause recording. Important. The technique that I just showed you for flattening things out don't allow you to flatten along a certain section. It just allows you to flatten out along a certain plane. So for example, if I go to edit mode, I'm going to go grab, but put it up here. Let me go here. I'm going to grab it and put it at the top like this. I'm going to grab a whole bunch of little points like that. And I'm just going to just take it out of whack here, right? See, you did your curve and your curve, you did it in
Right.
3D spaces out of whack like this, right? So I'm gonna hit the A key for select all, and I want to flatten this out. There's a few different ways to do this, and there's
Sorry, Jen.
so so I want to
Cat parkour. Sorry.
so
Okay, I got my curve done.
I got your curve done.
And I cheated because I did it from an orthogonal view, so all the extrusions happened in one plane.
Nah, I don't. That's
I did the same thing.
okay. No worries. That's no worries. So say it's all like this, but you want it all flattened out. So you're gonna tell it to scale, but you're gonna scale it, but you're gonna flatten it out at a 0 location, probably relative to your curve. Is what's happening here. Say hit the S key for scale, and then I want to hit the Z key to restrict the scale. And then hit 0 and boom, it just plops it along its local axis. If you want them all, now I'm going to left click to commit my changes. If you want them all to be along the 0 axis, then you're going to hit what's the shortcut for move?
GG.
Excellent. G and then Z and then 0. Oh, wait a minute.
okay.
GZ0. That should have worked. GZ0.
There's also another. You're in local mode, Steve, not in global.
Oh,
That's
sorry,
why.
sorry. I'm
No,
in
you're-
global. It should have worked. It should have. Let's see.
Oh,
G
yeah, now that it's
Z
Zero.
0.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me either.
All right. So in that
Oh,
case, I'll just go to Z and put in 0. That'll work.
but Steve,
Yeah.
before you were in up above, you were in local. If you were in global, I wonder if it would have worked
Well,
fine.
I thought I was in local. Okay, I tell you what. We'll stay in local. We'll stay in global. Okay, we'll pull it up. All right, and I'm gonna say A key. I tell you what. Let's go. Let me go to the tab key and go to object mode because I was in edit mode. So I'm gonna select. Oh, you know what? Right click. Set origin to geometry. There we go. All right. So now, I see the origin was already at 0. Oh, maybe that was a problem. So if I go to G key, Z key, 0. What? What?
Right. Yeah. No, I think you're right, Steve. So you got to go to object mode and like if you go set origin to like 3D cursor, then it should work.
Right. So,
Yeah.
but if I type it in manually here, it goes there.
It probably works fine in object mode. I just tried it in edit mode. I tried selecting all the points and which were already on
Yeah.
at 0.
Yeah.
And I tried typing G, Z, but then I typed in 1 and they shot up.
It shot up.
Because it was a relative offset
To-
to where they were.
Right.
But 0 anything plus 0 is going to equal itself. But 0 plus 1 is going to be 1.
Oh,
it has
so
somewhere to
so
go.
it's so then what you're saying is it's looking at its localized location.
Yeah,
not
even
at
though
global.
I had it set in global.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't have it set to local. So let me try it.
I mean, again, you guys can go up here to 0 and just type in 0 to the Z axis and it'll work.
Yeah.
If I go to
Oh, hey,
yeah.
footnotes, G, Z, and then -1 will move it 1 meter below where it actually was.
Well, exactly. Now,
It won't zero it out.
I realized that from its localized relative position, it'll move it -1, +1, -3, wherever you put it.
And
but
that's even when I had the even at the top, I had it set to global. And
Yeah.
it was still doing it.
Yeah.
Because it was, that's where G and Z are coming. The interactive modes are coming from is relative offset.
Right.
Because when you move with your mouse,
Right.
when you move things with your mouse, you're going from 0 from where you clicked and you drag, and then
Right.
it's an offset.
Right.
So you're numerically imputing an offset.
Yeah.
Inputting an offset.
So now,
But-
now keep in mind that you can see mine is slightly off on the origin points here. So if I go to the origin and make sure everything's set to 0, right? So here X, Y, and Z is set to 0, and I want to set that origin. I want that origin point to be the same as your world origin point. Then you simply, I think it's a Command A, and then set all apply all transformations, and it'll reset, boom, back to the origin of your world origin. It'll make your object match the world origin using all transformations. Just the FYI, it might help. But anyways, let me go to my tutorial I was going to do. Any other questions on this? Cool.
I still haven't been able to make mine go to 0.
Oh, just go over here to your up here the item view, the left the menu, the vertical menu on your left hand side, and then for Z type in 0.
Okay, that worked.
Yeah.
And then eventually you'll show us how to use the Bezier handles because I
Oh yeah.
can't seem to grab them.
Okay, so it's very simple. Here, I'll do a new one for you here. I'll turn this one off so I can play with the new one. If I Shift A, go to my curves, we'll go over here to Bezier. All right. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with Adobe Illustrator or Adobe Photoshop Bezier curves. Okay, if you're not, it's going to be you'll be this will be a learning curve a little bit. I'm gonna go to my edit mode now. Now the way Beziers work is basically they're like beads on a rubber band, but what these are doing is they're adjusting the curvature of your path. So that
you had to lasso selected. I was clicking on them.
yeah, you can click on them. Like I go over here, I can click on that one,
Maybe I
but
wasn't in
but
the edit mode.
No.
I guess I wasn't in the edit mode or something.
right, you got to be in edit mode, and then make sure your transform button or tool is selected on your left hand side.
Oh,
Then that way it shows you exactly what you have selected. So if you click inside the white circle of the transform tool, you can just drag it to free form drag it, right? If you go to your access keys and restrict it, you can do that as well. So just an FYI. And then when you click on those points, just like in Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator, every point has handles. If I just grab the handle, right, the handle determines how much slack you give it and how much slack you take up and the direction of the curve. If I click on this point, there's my curve handle, click on the curve handle, and then I like to work, if you want to control it better, because it's sitting, if I go to the top view only, right, it might be able to be easier just to work in orthographic view, right? Might be a lot easier. If I want to extend another a curve off the last point, it's the E key for extrude, and it just extrudes another section like this. And you can go to the handlebars and actually move them around and manipulate the curve, the direction you want to go. So remember, the handlebars is determining not only the direction of the curve by, I'm going to click the handlebar here. It's not only determining the direction of the curve, whether it's going to go, it's going to curve to the left or curve outward toward the right. It's also determining how much slack you're giving it out here and how much slack you're taking up to tighten up the curve. So when you get closer to the point with your curve, you're tightening it up. You're making it more linear.
thanks, Steve.
You're welcome. And if I go to the last curve, remember this, the curves and handlebars are different. So if you want to extend off this last point, E key, and it automatically kind of gives you a curve that's probably pointing in the direction that you don't want to go. So just grab that handlebar back here and just flip it around in the direction that you so choose. And it works just like Illustrator and Photoshop. I'm gonna go to Tab key, go to Object View. Oh, just one last thing. I should probably show you. Let me go back to Edit View here. So if you want to close it, Curve C for the first letter of curve, just Alt C. So Alt C closes the curve. Exactly. And then I can come in here and get the handlebar again and readjust it, bring up more slack if I want more slack, and go to the curve itself and probably pull it on out and place it wherever you like.
Does it, hey Steve, does it say which is the starting point? Because remember in Lightwave, you used to get a
Yeah.
little diamond was the starting point?
Yeah. Good question. I don't know where to identify. I know where I started the starting point. I don't
Yeah, no,
know.
so do I, but
I
I was
don't
just
know where
curious.
to tell it to identify. That one I don't know. I'll look that one up.
Is there a way to flatten the handlebars? I just looked at my curve from a different angle and it turns out my handlebars were all like going
Well,
through the grid.
right. If you get your handlebars and they're kind of like doing something like this,
Yeah, exactly.
right? Okay, so you already know it. I just taught you, right?
Okay.
So you select all, S for scale, Z for the axis, and 0.
Oh yeah, that worked. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I can ask you another question
It
real
works
quick.
for the handlebars
Do you
too.
break the Bezier handles, or are they continually, or are they continuous? Because you know in Photoshop and Illustrator you can break Bezier handles.
Yeah, you can break Bezier handles. If you look over here to the left-hand side, you've got some tools.
Oh shoot! What the heck? Sorry.
Right over there.
Okay. So it's the curve. Oh, the curve. Oh.
See, Tony's happy.
Some new tools. Oh.
He loves more tools. Give him more tools, he'll be happy. Like a little kid. Just sit him in the corner and give him all the tools he wants. He'll be happy.
I was never satisfied with just 6 crayons. I always wanted.
Exactly. Why are we using just 3 crayons? That's
Right.
bullshit, man.
Exactly.
Okay. Here's another one too. Over here on the left-hand side, you see some of these curve options. You've got this one that says draw curve, right? So how does that work? I can draw a new curve. Say, for example, I don't like this curve, right? I can go over here and select all, hit A key to select all, right? And then hit delete and get rid of, and say get rid of all my vertices and delete the curve. The curve is gone. The curve is not gone. You're still inside Bezier curve 001, right? You're still inside a curve. It's that you deleted all your points. But we can come over here and say, I want to free draw whatever I want and no one can tell me what to do. So I'll go to my top mode, Z key, and go like that, and then like that, like there you go. And you got yourself a new curve inside your curve. New points inside your curve. In fact, I'm going to delete it and do it again. I don't like that one. I'm going to hit X, delete those vertices. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to go to 7 view, and I'm going to go, I'm going to go to smoother, because I think I'll probably use this curve for my example. Come around like that. I'm going to do that, or like that, like right there. Okay. And then I'm going to hit Alt-C to close it. And then I'll get out of here, go back to my transform tool. And let's see, it's getting close. I got some funny little loops going on over here. Let's see what that's doing. There we go. I can just pull that on out like that. Just unloop that. Grab this handlebar and kind of move that around a little bit. And I've got a new little curve shape that I think I'll use for this tutorial. Okay. All right, let's go to what I was going to do. Let's go to object mode. There's my new curve. I'm going to get rid of that old curve that I've got. So I'm just going to select it, hit delete key on my keyboard, and that'll get rid of it. Shift A, give yourself a plane. Shift A, mesh, go to your plane. Okay, your plane small. Now, in relationship to that curve, hit S key, scale it about like that. I think that'll work. Just bring it a little bit outside your curve. Hit Command A and set all transformations. Don't forget to do that. It's going to be important. And let me know when you've got to this point.
I have a plane and I have a curve.
Cool. How you doing, Zari and Tony?
I have a curve. I'm making a plane right now.
All right. Just make it so big, stretch it out so big, like I've similar to what I've got. and Command A set and apply all transformations.
Okay, I'm there.
You there? Okay, cool. All right. We're gonna
Here.
do some fun little stuff we were playing with Jen earlier. We're gonna subdivide this square and we're gonna make it a displacement. So go to tab key, go to edit mode, right click, subdivide, and then come over here and give it like 40 subdivisions in your options box, and it's done for you. That's about all we're gonna need. And then get out of there and go back to object mode. Let me know when you're done.
Done.
That was Tony, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We're waiting for Jen.
Done. 40 cuts.
Okay, cool. Zari?
Yes, done. Subdivide.
Okay. All right, go over to your modifier, add in there a subdivision surface, and give it 3 levels of view. We're not going to do any adaptive subdivision, just leave it the way it is now. And then give it an additional modifier of displacement.
Just displace.
Just displacement. And we're going to use a procedural to displace the texture. So let me know if you've gotten to this point.
Oops.
Done.
We're done? Okay.
I undid my subdivide. How do you subdivide again? Right click?
Yes, right click.
Smooth shade to auto smooth.
Are you in edit mode?
Oh, edit mode.
Get in. You got it?
40 by 40. Okay.
I thought you were with us.
Yeah.
He lied.
Up till when I did Control Z and I undid what I had.
Oh, okay. I think you can do Shift Control Z to go back to what you had before.
Oh, okay. That would have been faster.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to do this one fast. This is just a tidy up thing for what we learned last week. All right. So go to your displace modifier. You're going to come down here. I guess, can I do new? Hold on a second. Do new. Texture. Could we do? Yeah. Click on the texture option. Click on new. So at least we can tell it we're going to apply a texture to it. And now we're going to go make the texture. Down on the left, that vertical properties bar on the right side, go down to that little square checkered symbol. It's the very last one. If you click on it, this is where we're going to actually create our texture for this. And if we come up here where it says movie, images or movie, click it and apply clouds. Like that.
Okay.
All right. And then go to the sizing and just mess with the sizing till you get something smoothed out like that. And then go back to your modifier and go to your displace and probably take the strength up a little more, something like this. And then we'll go with this. Okay. Let me know when you got to this point.
Done.
Done?
Done.
Okay. Cool. How's Zari doing?
Zari's behind. You go ahead.
No, we're gonna give you another minute. Give another minute. Just apply your displacement image and then just give it a little more strength than the displacement modifier. So if you want to watch me, if you're confused, what you can, if I'm in my modifier, I can go to displace and go to the strength and I can bring it up a little bit. And we also made the sizing for if we go to the texture, we made the sizing for the texture larger than 1.0 so that it was more larger peaks of mountains rather than these teeny little spiky things.
How many levels did you have your sub D modifier?
The sub D is 3. Just like light wave. All right, let's go forward. Now, do me a favor, turn the eyeball off on the plane. Matter of fact, call it terrain, so that we give it something fun. Just double click it, we call it, and then turn the eyeball off. So all we're going to be seeing is our spline. Now, I want you to put in a cube. So go to mesh. We're going to bring in a cube like this. And then all I want you to do is I want you to just watch me for now, and then I'm gonna let you do it. This is gonna be my makeshift vehicle. So I'm gonna take it, hit the S key to scale it down about like this. I'm gonna bring it over here next to the spline, and just to kind of give a relationship thing to it, to see it in relationship to the spine. And then I want to stretch it out, almost like a little car. And I think I'll flatten it out so it has some, there we go. So I want you to get something, maybe like a little smaller like that. Okay. Get something in relationship to your curve, to like this. Make it like a flat cube, like so. And when you're done, Command A, scale and rotation. Reset those so that it solidify those your adjustments in stone. So get to this point. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to give this a constraint, and we want this to animate along that path. Of course, we're going to alter that curve into a path. So I'm going to come over here to my constraint option, the fourth icon from the bottom on that vertical menu on the right-hand side. Grab it. And we're going to come right over here, and on the very far on the relationship side menu, you're going to go down to follow the path. So we're going to follow the path, and now we're going to tell it what curve to turn into a path. So we go to target. I can just drop it down and just click the Bezier curve, and boom, it pops it to our path. The next thing I want to do is I want it to follow the curve. So I'm going to click follow the curve. And I also want to click animate. So if I go to layout, so I can have my timeline here, let's set this to like endpoint of 200. No, let's do 100. Let's do 100. Let's keep it simple. From 0 to 100. Don't forget, you can replace the lighter highlighted portion is the actual the start point and beginning point. And if you hold your Command or Control or Alt and Option, you can resize it. Or if you just hold the Alt, you can pan it. So it's the same modifiers as if you're working in the 3D scene. So if I go to 0 here and play around, okay, what's going on here? Okay.
It might be layering on top of the existing transform, so make sure it's the XYZ is zeroed out. Because mine was at the origin, and it tracks fine.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me see what you're talking about. Okay, so... Oh, wait a minute. It went upside down.
Also make sure the forward axis is set to X. But,
Yeah.
But in your, go to like the numeric, like the XYZ position.
Here?
Yeah. And zero out X, Y, and Z.
All right, let's see what that did.
And there you are.
There we go. Okay, that's it. That was it. That was it. I didn't have it zeroed out. Okay.
So I guess it was layering that on top of the
There we go.
modifier.
There we go. All right, so on my, go to the modifier here. Okay, for the forward axis, I think, was it Z by default, like this?
Mine was Y by default.
Was it Y
Mine
by
was Y as
default?
well.
Okay, there we
Yeah.
go. That's it. So it's going to look like this, right? So I just change it to X-axis. All right, and that's the thing. You got to follow the curve, and it's going to flow real nicely right in there. Okay, now, so what we want to do next is I want this also to flow with this landscape here. So we got it going with the curve, right? So here, and pull it on back. Thank you. So what you're going to do next is I'm going to go to my X-ray view so I can see everything. Select your curve. All right. And give the curve a modifier. What modifier are we going to give it, guys?
You can't have to deform it, right?
Oh.
Shrink wrap?
Excellent, Jen. Shrink wrap. Boom. What are we going to shrink wrap it to?
The terrain?
The terrain. Boom. All right, so we're going to do it now. We're doing it now with some other modifiers, other things we need to do. Okay, so it's still following the curve, but it's not quite sitting on top of the terrain, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to fix all that. Select your cube. Something we forgot to do. Go to edit mode. I'm gonna hit the period key to get this to go to surface, and I want you to select only the bottom set of polygons. Shift S, cursor to select it. Because the goal here is to set the origin point in relationship to the bottom face.
Selection to.
Shift S, selection to select it. Cursor to select it. So you got
cursor. There it is. Okay.
You got to select the face
Yeah,
first. Got it? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Now, when you're done, get out and go back to object view. Your 3D cursor is still in the center of your cube. So we need to take it to tell it to take your
3D cursor.
your orientation and align it to your 3D cursor. So right click, set origin to 3D cursor. There. Now you've just reoriented your object so that the bottom portion is selected.
Right.
All right. So it doesn't do anything. All it does is it ensures that it sits on top of the line.
It's like the tire.
Right. It's just like the tire. No different. All right. So if I turn off this terrain real quick, you can see. All right. I gotta pull it back a little bit too close. All right. It's going to animate according to your orientation point.
Is it, if you look at it from a side view, is it sticking to the curve or is it acting upon the pre-deformed curve?
Well, it's acting according to pre-deformed curve so far, but we're going to fix that.
Oh,
Because you need to add in two constraints here. So we got a modifier to the curve. Now we need to add a constraint to the car. So turn on your terrain again if you have it turned off. And now I need to tell the car, add a constraint to the car. All right. So we got follow path, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now we need to tell it to go to shrink wrap. And we're going to shrink wrap it to what?
The terrain.
The terrain. There. Okay. So now if we do a little bit of an animation test, it's moving a little bit to the terrain. It's moving to the terrain. You can see it bumping up and down. All right, so we need to fine tune it. All right. So far the snap modes on the surface, if we go to it's the nearest point for the mode, but instead we go to project. It should project it on top. There. See? So if we start, now it's starting to move. Let me turn off the x-ray. There we go. Make it easier to see. Now we're seeing it's kind of moving on top there. Okay, we're not there yet.
Mine did it, except it flattened my cube down to the ground.
Oh, shouldn't be doing that.
Oh, I guess I
I
should
think
have
you-
chosen the curve and not the ground.
Right.
That's my target.
Okay. Let's see. Hold on. We'll take a look at yours in just a minute. Just bear with me. All right. So here's the issue. Your project mode. We're telling it to project. If it's a subtle, smooth surfaces, that it might work, right? You might fake it. But under the project, instead of project, put it under project normal, target normal project. We should get a better result. Come on, Steven.
Wait. I'm sorry. Where was that project normal?
Same place under where it says where it says mode right here, where you put project originally.
Yes.
Drop it down and go to target normal project.
Oh.
Now we got more to do, but if we take a look at it, it's kind of trying to work along each individual surface. But we want it to curve along that surface, right? We want it to turn and match the face of those surfaces. This is where this mode here, I have it set on surface. I'm going to keep it on surface, but if you go down align to normal right here, click it there. Now I've got x-axis. Let me see what it looks like. Just going to test it out here. Okay, so what we want is another axis. Let's see. Let's try y-axis, which I already know that we're going to need z-axis, and we go to z-axis there.
Right on. Yeah.
There you go. Boom, 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 boom. It will move right along along the normal face of the curve and follow the path at the same time. And this is just a very simplified view, but concept.
Does Blender have a center? When in Lightwave, you could click on the center thing, and then whenever your object was moving, it was always centering it at the same time.
I'm not sure what you mean.
I'm trying to think. Do we have Lightwave installed? I might actually have Lightwave installed.
You want to bring up Lightwave and I'll share your screen?
Yeah.
All right. So
Just lay on. There it is. So if I hang on a quick second.
So just a caveat on this technique. The more points you add to your curve to make it flexible, the more accurate it'll be.
Right.
So if you want to get a snake sliding across the surface of this thing, that might be.
Also, do you need the shrink wrap deformer on the path? I mean, it looks like it would work without it. It just visual.
You know
need the
what?
visual of the path.
That's a good question. You may not need it. We can try it. We can turn the eyeball off on the path if you click on the path, right? And we just go to my modifier. Where's my path? Select there's some path is selected. Okay. Do I have
You go to the wrench.
go to the
and-
wrench? Okay, and then turn the eyeball. Turn the monitor off on it, so it's not being affected.
And it should still do what you asked it.
Let's see.
Or
And
maybe not.
maybe not. Nope, it's not.
No, there
It
is
is
a
not.
difference.
There's a difference.
Or wait, no,
No. Well, let's see.
no, it's sorry, when I turn it on off, the cube remains in place, but visually it makes a difference to the curve.
Yeah.
So maybe it's helpful in that it gives you the visual of what you're combining the two.
Yeah,
together.
it appears. I think you're right. It appears to be working without that shrink wrap there, but it's a nice little visual appearance that you can see it attached to the curve.
Yeah.
And that's what I was using when I was playing around this tutorial. It's like okay, I want that curve to match that terrain. So I figured, okay, put a shrink wrap on the curve, right? So it should match the curve. That's why the cube only reacted to the original curve and not to the shrink wrapped curve. Right, initially, right? So now there it is. Everything's reacting to the terrain. So you only need the curve there to tell it where to go, but the curve shrink wrapping it to the terrain helped me to be accurate as to where I want to place the curve. So now if I want to go to the curve, right? Let me click on the curve and I want to edit that curve. I mean, because I want it to be placed in a certain way in a certain place on the terrain, I can actually put it exactly where I want that model to go. So if I select, say, these 2 points here, and then move these on over, see it stays shrink wrapped to the terrain, and I can see exactly where the car is going to move to. So it's a valid technique in terms of being able to kind of visually assess where you want things to go. See? So, but Jen is correct. I don't have to have it on for the technique to work, but it helps to have it on to visually see, hit A, to visually see where things are going to be aligning up to my landscape. Let's see if I go back to object mode. Yeah. So I can see how it's going to line up to my landscape. So now it's going to match that new direction that I put the curve in. I thought you guys might like to see that. I figure it's a nice little tightening up, the fine tuning the technique. So if you're going to be animating a snake or cars with wheels or whatever, they can stay attached a lot more accurately to the orientation of the face of the curve.
Schools of fish.
Yeah.
All right. Let me share my screen with you.
Okay, you got it. Go ahead and share your screen. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Here's my thing here.
All right, go ahead and share your screen. Let's see what it looks like.
Share. So here's a null object,
Right.
and if you turn on, so I'm in perspective mode and layout.
Yeah.
Turn on this little center thing, and so see how perspective keeps up with keeps your object in the center. I don't know if Blender has anything like that.
No.
It's
If you
just because it's annoying to have to keep trying to see where.
whatever object you have selected, hit the period key on your numeric side of your keyboard. It already.
And it zooms in.
Yeah, it zooms in. Yeah.
No. Here's what you do, Steve.
Yeah.
Or Tony, you know how in the right hand side you have item, tool, and view. Go to the view tab. It's the little on the right hand side.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Now
got
in the
it.
view, you have an option lock to object. Then you select the object.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
it'll
that's
track
right.
whether or
No,
not it's
yeah,
selected.
you're so right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So that way you can keep selecting other
Oh,
things in the
okay.
scene.
Perfect. That's
Right.
exactly what I was talking about.
There you go.
All right.
And that way you can select other things in the scene, but it'll remain locked to your point of interest.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Thank you,
Okay.
Jen.
Thanks, Jen. That was helpful. Yay.
Jen, you're very helpful.
Of course she is. That's why she's here.
Things are not working for me. Today's not my day.
Oh, you want to share your screen?
The gremlins have attacked.
Share your screen and see what's going on.
I like your little cow person, Jen. Or bull person.
What, this?
Yeah.
Oh, this was a cute little graphic that artist Heather Grocock did for Year of the Bull, which I think was last year.
Okay, let's help Zari out here. So let's see if you guys can figure out what Zari's not doing right.
So first step is to make sure my curve conforms to the terrain.
All right, so select your cube.
Here's the curve.
Select your cube.
My
Oh.
cube.
Oh, does your cube match your curve?
Yeah.
Show me. Show us so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I need to match my curve to the terrain.
All right, so that's shrink. So go to shrink wrap modifier for the curve.
Right here, and the target is the ground,
That's right.
and it's not doing it.
Are you in object mode?
No, he's constraining his shrink wrap.
He's constraining his
Oh,
shrink.
sorry.
Here's the curve.
There's
Here's
no.
shrink wrap to the ground.
That's a constraint shrink wrap.
You
That's
have to-
that's not a deformation
Deformer.
shrink wrap.
Gotta go to the
Oh,
red
okay.
icon.
Shrink wrap.
So get
Turn
rid of
one
that.
off. Yeah, get rid of that one.
Go to the regular shrink. Right.
There you go, right
And
there.
this is completely optional, Zari. This
Yeah.
just gives you a nice visual.
There you go.
Okay,
Shrink wrap,
why is it
select-
optional?
Huh? Yeah, you apply the deform modifier
Right,
and
and
you
pick your
select the
little
terrain.
eyedropper tool.
Ground.
Oh,
There you go. Boom.
now we should.
You're right.
But this doesn't actually affect the motion of the box.
Right. It just yeah, like to saying it's just giving you a visual of where it's going to be attached to.
So here's the cube, and it has constraints and modifiers. I have my shrink wrap here,
M-
and a
maybe
shrink wrap here.
maybe just take off your modifiers and your shrink wrap, and then start from square one with your cube.
Sure.
Yeah, I was thinking like go to your cube and keep the modifiers because the modifiers are. Oh wait,
That was
okay.
bad.
So go to the wrench thing and get rid of the shrink wrap on the cube
Right.
because
Go
you don't need it.
down at the bottom. There you
There
go.
you go.
There you go.
Okay, I guess you could do it there too. So then you see in the parameters properties window down there, you're in the modifier wrench. Go to the constraint, which is the two little circles embraced by a
There you go.
line. And now we can look at this. Oh, there's no target set for your shrink wrap.
Right, go to
It's not
target.
gonna shrink wrap to anything. Choose your fighter.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you
Oh,
go.
I think it's doing it.
Yep, it's doing it now.
It just needed that extra little input, that bit of
Yeah,
information
thank
was
you.
missing.
And-
Should I say it
And
myself?
then Zari, on your mode there where it says nearest surface to point, select it and go to target to normal project. Okay? And then under the align to normal, click it and go to Z axis. There.
Bingo.
There
Oh,
you
that's
go.
better.
There you
Bingo
go.
was his name, look at that.
Yep,
Sorry,
that's
you're
it. I remember that. Bingo was his name. Oh, that was the old Maya animation they did.
Oh yeah, that's right. Bingo. The
Remember
Maya
that
animation.
one?
Yeah. Or Salty the Sea Lion.
Yeah, there it is. So save that, Zari, so you can always go back and remember
Got it.
what you've done. So let's do a 10-minute break. All right. No, class is going to go a little longer today because we started a little late. So,
Okay.
let's do a 10-minute break. Let me get the 10-minute thing. 10-minute thing. 10 minutes. There we go. Cool. All right, there we go. It's on. All right, I'm gonna pause recording. I'm gonna show you the plugins that I use for Blender. I've got a little folder.
Cool.
On my-
While you're doing that, Tony, can you put a link in the chat?
Sure.
To Blender Kit?
Yeah.
Yeah, Blender Kit's really good. Add-ons. I'm gonna go to my
It opens it up right there in Blender for you.
Flip Fluids is kind of nice. Okay, so crowd render. You want to turn Blender into a render farm. Crowd render is a good one. In fact, let me go get the link here, and I'll do this. Let's see. Let's go to crowd. There it is. Crowd render download.
What does Cloud Render do again?
Turns your Blender into a render farm. So if you want to render using all your different machines in your house, you can.
Okay.
It'll take those machines and turn them into a render farm.
Oh, so it's like butterfly render or render.
It's a network renderer.
Network renderer. Thank you.
Right, it's a network renderer. Let me go. I'm going to put that in here. Crowd render. Okay, there's the link for that one. There's one called Flip Fluids. I don't know the link to that one, but to look that one up. I think you can find a lot of these on Blender Market.
Probably.
That's and that's fabulous. That's a fluid simulation or water simulation plugin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard of it before.
You've got Adobe put out one the Mixamo add-on to Blender if you're interested in that. Machine Tools is highly recommended. I'll put that in there. Maybe David can find these links while I'm putting them in here and put the links in. David, you there?
I'm here.
Good.
I still have a headache.
I don't care. Find those links and put them in there to these things. Hard Ops is the other one. You could probably find a lot of.
Yeah.
You could probably find a lot of these on Blender Market.
Tony, thank you for putting the Blender Kit link in the chat.
Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, you'll like that. Everything's like right there. When I did the little robot thing, I pulled in a free 3D table that was already built and textured, and I pulled in a different HDRI, that was free with all a Blender kit, and it was just, yeah, I found it very useful.
Bagapie texturing tools.
Bag of pie.
Bagapie, yeah. Check that on Blender Market too.
Okay.
Okay, so Physical Starlight and Atmosphere. I like that one, and it actually brings in like you create a terrain, and it actually brings in the actual sun and background and lighting of what the actual terrain is going to look like at certain times of day. Here, I'll just put that in there. You can find that on Blender Market too.
Wow, okay.
It's Physical. I'm gonna type it in here. I'm just gonna type in the names. So look at Blender Market to find it. So Physical Starlight, and it also puts in stars. Starlight, Atmosphere, and Atmosphere. So it puts in physical stars, the lighting, and the atmosphere.
That's amazing.
And it's pretty cool. I really like it. And easy to use. And Dave, if you can't think of anything you can put in there, you can.
Oh, Dave put a whole bunch of stuff up.
Yeah.
There's Bool Tools.
Bool Tools is part of Blender. That's not a third party
Oh.
plugin. That comes with Blender. All right, cool. So do me a favor, create a new scene. Go to new scene, create a new scene, go to general. And I want you to create a plane. So Shift A, give yourself a plane. And then also give yourself a sphere. So Shift A, give yourself a UV sphere in there. So get to this point. I'm going to go ahead and...
Okie dokie.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Okay.
Go to the plane and make it like so big like that in relationship to your sphere, something like this. Bring the sphere outside the plane, so, and then make sure that you apply your scale transformations to your plane. Okay, so Command A, apply scale. All right, here's where it's going to get fun. All right. Select the plane. Go to edit it. Subdivide it. Right click, subdivide. Let's go to 50 cuts. And then go back out into your object mode. Give this a modifier, subdivision surfaces. Give it 3 views. Fill the views. Subdivision surfaces there. I give it the levels of viewports. Go to 3. Okay, it's good to go. That should work.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody, let me know when you get to this point.
Done.
Done. Boy, Tony's just on a roll today.
I know, right?
Yeah, just need to move the sphere off of the plane.
Yeah, no worries.
Take my privilege in.
What was that?
Take my privilege in.
I have no idea what that does.
It's supposed to be a memory enhancer, that's all.
Oh,
Heck.
Lord, I could use that.
I bought that, but I always forget to take it.
Yeah, it's no good to have it then.
You're killing me, sorry. You're killing me.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready? Okay, cool. All right, here we go. How you doing, Zara? You there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. All right, so now watch me. I'm forgetting already. Go to my modifiers. You're gonna add another modifier, and you're gonna add a modifier called Dynamic Paint. Select it. Okay.
Okay.
Go to the sphere and add a modifier called Dynamic Paint. The same modifier.
Okay.
Okay. We're all there, right? Now, in terms of workflow, it would be nice if we had the modifier properties right here with inside the modifier stack, right? But we don't, because it's a dynamic. It's a physical dynamics. And all physical dynamics are seen right above the constraint modifier button here on the vertical menu on the right hand side. So if I click it, you get to see there's the modifier Dynamic Paint. Now for the sphere, I don't want this to be the canvas. I want this to be the brush. So select the brush. And that's pretty much it. We'll leave everything default. Select the brush, and then you have to add the brush. So click Add. And when you add the brush, it gives you all your other properties for that. but we're going to leave everything default.
I'm sorry, Steve. My
Select.
my modifiers aren't following what I'm selecting above as like sphere or plane. They're not.
No, you should be selecting a sphere only.
Yeah.
It's highlighted orange. And then in your modifier stack, now the modifier is here, right?
Yeah. See
Now hold
when
on.
you select sphere, it says sphere in the bottom window. Mine still says plane.
Then come up here and select sphere in your 3D layers.
I did.
Are you in?
And my bottom part still says plane.
Are you in? Are you in object mode?
Yeah.
Okay, and now select your sphere.
I selected my sphere, but the okay.
Because you were in edit mode, which means you're stuck in edit mode, even though you were selecting another object.
Oh, I see. Okay. Dynamic paint. Thank you.
Okay, no worries. All right, so here is your modifier. Now you're gonna go right here. Now your modifier is here. If I go to my sphere, the modifier is not there. The modifier is there, right? But you want to go to your dynamics. The dynamics is below below your modifier is this one here. It's like a big circle with another circle orbiting around it.
Yeah,
So click it. So click that. So in order to get that, you have to add your brush, right? So you add your brush, then all these properties will open up. So after you click the add brush button to that sphere, these properties open up, which you're going to leave default, by the way.
Dynamic paint type brush.
And then add brush. Click the button that
Add
says
brush.
add brush.
Got it.
Got it. That's all you need to do. Now we're going to do the same thing to the plane. Select the plane. And inside you see add canvas inside your physics,
Yes.
right? Click on
Yes.
add canvas. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of scroll this up a little bit so it's easier to see. Let's see. Make sure you guys are in layout mode so you have your timeline in front of you.
Oh, layout.
So your timeline, so you can just where's my ball here? Somewhere in here. There it is right there. Okay. I'm gonna put it back to 0. Okay. Now let me go back to my physics here and pull this on up. There we go, so we can see my options here. All right. You want, for the format, I believe vertex is chosen by default, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. So it's 250 frames is what I got by default. So just make sure your end is 250 frames here as well.
Okay.
The surface type, and this is important, is not going to be paint. We're going to drop it down, and we're going to tell the surface to become waves. And we're going to leave everything else default. So now watch me. If I select the ball and I interact with it, something's happening. Okay, I tell you what, we got to do something else. Do something else. At 0, have your ball on the outside. Hit I for insert keyframe and set location and rotation. Now take this all the way over to, say, go to frame 100, guys, so we can save time. Go to frame 100 and bring this to the opposite side outside the plane, and hit I key and set location rotation. Set your endpoint to 100 and set the endpoint. Let's see, it should be in here too, but no, it's got to be on the ball. So for the ball, I don't think it's going to matter really so much. I think it's going to match it just out of curiosity.
Oh, it's already working for me.
Yeah. Okay. So if you just hit play button,
Oh,
boom.
go back to my view.
Right?
Lock to object. Sphere. Zoom in a little bit. Hit play.
And it's making waves.
Oh.
It's one way of making waves.
Right? It's making waves. And we can mess with the velocity of this thing and all that. So the factor, the clamp waves, if I pull that up a little bit, we'll see what happens.
So just look at the object.
Let's see what the factor does. See if I can go higher. Let's see what happens. There we go. So I get deeper waves here. If I go over to, here's the wetness, right? It's 1. Let me see if I can go higher than 1. Nope, only 1. If I bring down the wetness to like half and see what happens. Yeah, so it's less waviness. Put it down even more. We gotta let it restart back to the beginning to 0 again. There we go. See, way less.
Ball drops.
What was that?
What happens if the ball drops?
We're getting there. Just get to this point.
I'm missing a step because I've got the ball going. I've got the ball keyframe to go through it. The ball has dynamic paint applied, and it's a brush. And the plane has dynamic paint applied, and it is a canvas.
Right, it's a canvas, and then over here, hold on a second. Let me select the plane under the surface type, Jen, where it says surface. Change it to waves.
Surface type. Oh yes, yeah. That was my. Hey, now it works. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's what I was doing wrong.
All right, so let's do this. Let's stop it. Go back to 0. Let's make the ball bigger. Scale it about 3 times its size. Command A, set locations and rotation and scale. And then play the animation again. Boom. So we can also cache this out. Let me click on the I'm going to stop it playing for a second. Stop it. Go back to 0. Down here under cache, right? We can bake this. So to bake it, you have to save it first. So if I go to File menu, Save As, and I'll put this under, there we go. I'll go back to my Blender projects, and I've got my Blender class, should be up here somewhere. Let's see, Humanities 00 Blender. It's not in alphabetical order. Why is that? Click on the name. There we go. All right, so if we go to Blender class right there, I'm going to call this one Wave Tutorial. And save it. Okay. Now, the bake option is it's available. Okay, it's available. I want to check something on the plane real quick before I do that. I'm going to go to my subdivision surfaces. I've got 3. I got dynamic. Let's see what happens if we put subdivision surfaces after dynamic paint. Let me play it. Interesting. There we go. There we go. That's what I was looking for.
And it's
That-
probably much cheaper to cache.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I wanted some nice big waves in there. And if I go back to my dynamics, we can come in, we can modify the waves a little bit. So maybe, let's see, the spring, bring up the spring a little more to 100. Let's see what it does. You got to let it go back to 0. So you have a lot more springiness going on in there. Let's see, if we bring down the radius, let's see what happens. So it's less radius of the wave. I assume that's what that means. If I take it down to 0, yeah, it seems like it's a less effect. If I go back up to softness, let me take that, where's my smoothness, springiness up to 0, dampening, take the dampening off. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see if I can go to, what about increase speed a little bit? See what that does. I'm out of curiosity. Let's bring up the radius. Open borders. Let's see. I'm playing with these options here. Let me go to my wetness. If I remember correctly, where was that? Canvas settings, start to end. The speed, the spring, the stiffness. Scale influence. Let me see what this does. There we go. That's even less. So you're bringing down the influence. If we bring it up high to 1, let me see if I can go beyond 1. Nope, I can't. All right, let's see, what have I got in here? I'm gonna play with it. I know there's more options now. We're gonna do something different. So
Can you please go back to your? I'm sorry. Can you please go back to your sphere so I can make sure I have the settings correct?
sure, let me stop it. Go to sphere, and we take a look at that.
Dynamic paint brush. That's correct. That's correct. Source. Go back to my source. Source is. What is your source again?
You mean on the plane?
No, on the object, on the sphere.
On the sphere. So what do you mean? Okay, what are you looking at?
Just below the blue.
Here.
Right there.
There we go.
Source
That's
is
it. It's the mesh volume.
Okay. Because I'm not getting deformed. My plane is not being deformed anymore. Change.
So
And my settings on your plane is the settings on my plane.
share your screen. Share your screen. I'm gonna take a look.
Hang on a quick second here.
Sure.
Share screen.
Let's see what you got.
Share. Oh, is it?
We're waiting for you to share.
Oh, Zoom quit.
I still hear you, so it couldn't have quit.
Oh, no, it's okay.
We still see you. We still hear you.
Never mind. Let me go back to
Share your screen. It's hidden somewhere on your screen. There you go.
Can you see my screen?
It says has started sharing screen, but I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, I'm getting Zoom quit unexpectedly, but you still see me.
All right, maybe you have to zoom. Maybe you have to log out and log back in. Maybe that'll fix it. There you go. He'll be back.
Okay, here I am. All right, let's try something. What about now?
There it is. It works.
Okay. All right, so the plane is selected. I'm in object mode.
All right, stay in the plane. You got waves are there. That's can go to your ball. Select your ball.
Yeah.
All right, and that is a brush. So sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, it looks all correct. But Tony, you got to animate this for this to work. So bring your ball out and
Yeah, I
hit
had it in.
hit space bar. Space
Yeah,
bar.
watch. Oh, son of a seahorse. It was working. I just wasn't paying attention to it.
Okay.
Dang it.
Pay attention
Sorry.
next time.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Never heard that one before.
Okay. All right. Now we're gonna do something different. Save this one and call it waves. Let me know when you have accomplished that.
Okay.
All right. Now I want you to save it again and call this one particles.
I'm not sure I got the cache working, but
Yeah, the cache is just caching out. So you baking the cache. So what I'm doing here is if I'm playing this, okay, you can see it there. Go to bake right down here and just bake it. And it'll bake it, pre-bake it before you do anything.
we can remove the constraints and stuff because it will be baked.
Right.
Yes.
Well, let's see. It'll be baked in. So let me pull this out. I want to do something else. I want to go to this plane. I'm going to go over here, edit mode. I'm going to subdivide it a couple of times. I want to see what the effect I'm going to get. This is just experimentation. Go to object. It's back. All right. I'm going to go to the object, make it just a little smaller. There. And I'm going to scale and rotate. Now let's go ahead and play this. I'll pull this on over so it's 100 up to 100 frames. Okay. And play. Now I'm gonna stop it, right? I could, now that I've changed all this, right, I can just bake it. Let's see, where are you? Oh, okay, so I'm gonna delete that bake and I'm gonna bake this one. All right, it's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it. Let it play through. I should be getting a lot more rippling of effect. I'm not happy with that rippling effect. Let me click on the surface of this. I've got the waves. Dampening, I want that down to practically 0. The softness, let me bring that down and see what happens. So it's re-rendering again. It's going to re-render. Okay, so it's caching again because all over again because I've changed some settings here. All right, I got softness. I want a lot of springiness, but I don't want, I said smoothness. I want less smoothness. So if I take that down, now it's going up to 260 now. Let me see what that looks like. And it's taking longer because I subdivided that plane quite a bit. So it looks like I'm getting a much smoother effect. So I'm going to stop it and take the smoothness all the way down to like 0.1. And let's see what it does. It's got to go back to 0 again. All right, I'm thinking that what I like to do is stopping at 35, right? No, it isn't. I'm going to stop this because I want to take this. This is too much time. I want to take it down to like half to there. Okay, and then I'm going to take this out to here, make it go faster. Okay. So let's see what's going to happen, and let's let it just redo it again. Yeah, okay. So it's happening twice the speed as before. This needs to end at 50. Cool. And I just want to see what type of an effect I'm getting here. You can see I play with these changes here. I should be getting a lot more stronger rippling effect here. You're going to have to come in here and play with this. The clamp waves are not quite. Let's see. If I take this down to less, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm getting a much stronger rippling effect. I don't know what I did, but it looks much more like a boat.
Yeah, that's what I want you to have. I think a lot of it has to do that I enlarged the plane in relationship to the sphere. I'm not quite sure. So, and it's stopping at 50. That's why you're getting no effect over here. I got to go back in here, go to the plane, and let's see. I want to render. I thought that was over here on the sphere. Let me go over here. Where are you? Where are you? Okay. I'm missing stuff here. Where's what's under cache? 250 frames. I want 50 frames, so I want to delete that baked there. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's see what happens now. I'm just curious. Just out of curious, we're going to the next one. There we go. There we go. Okay. So I'm getting more of a rippling effect. How come it's starting right there? That's really weird. Here. Okay, now the system's slowing down. Really weird. Okay, so that's there. I assume that's my first keyframe there. So let's go ahead and pull it on out. Yeah, there we go. There's my water droplet effect. That's what I'm looking for. Let me see what I missed something up here, but it doesn't matter because you're gonna see the effects better with the next technique. All right, I'm done. Do me a favor, grab your ball. You should save this out as particles, right? So Command Shift S. I'm gonna call this one Blender class. I'm gonna call this one particles. All right, and what I want you to do is on that ball, we're going to delete these keyframes. So just select all the keyframes, hit delete. Oops, I wasn't paying attention. Grab the keyframes and let's see if I should have hit delete on the keyboard. There we go, they're gone. And my ball is back to where it began, right? Take the ball, bring it above, dead center above your plane. Go to your 7 view, 7 key on the keyboard. My plane is subdivided a little bit too much, I think, but I'll leave it there for now. Okay. All right, we're going to turn this into a particle emitter. And you know what? What I could do is this. No, let's leave it the way it is. We're going to turn it into a particle emitter. So right over here on the right hand side, that's the right side vertical menu here. You have your particle emitter. Let me make sure I've got this down here. I've got a dynamic applied to it. No constraints. Go to the dynamics. I just want to get rid of that. So let me see what I've got here.
Dynamic paint still applied to the sphere.
Yeah, it sure is. Do me a favor, delete the sphere. Just delete it. Get rid of it. I don't want any problems. Hit Command A. Give yourself another. Give yourself another plane. All right, and then bring that plane straight on up, right above it, like so. Just scale it about like that. Make it almost like the same. Cover the same space as the one on the bottom that you have subdivided. So go to my number 7 key on the keyboard from top view, S key, and something like that. That'll work just perfectly fine. Okay. Command A. And rotations and scale. Is Tony there?
Yep.
There he is. There you go. Didn't see your camera. Is Zari there?
Yes, sir.
All right. I didn't see your face there. Okay, cool. We're gonna make that a. We're gonna turn this into a. Let's go to my number 1 view. Yeah, that's good. That's all aligned properly. Okay. All right. We're gonna make that an emitter. So we're gonna come right over here. And we want this to be, where am I going to be here? Right here. So that's it. So see this little circle with 3 little dots is directly below your modifiers. It's the icon directly below the modifiers. Click on it and click on the plus button, and that'll automatically make that an emitter.
Okay.
So if I go to my, see, you can see. So so take your keyframe up to about 200. All right. So in frame is 200. Yeah, it's automatically following suit inside of your emitter from 1 to 200, okay. So if we pull this out, you can see particles coming off, okay? We can see particles coming off. All right, we got to fix this a little bit. We're going to come over here, and I want to increase the size of the particles. Velocity is under the physics. Now I'm going to remember where things are now. So under the physics, it is... I want to make the particles larger. Seed in life. Let's extend the lifetime is at 50 frames. We want the lifetime at 200 frames. Okay. All right. So if I bring it back, there we go. So at 200 frames, we got a lot of particles coming down. I'll bring all my frame rates here so you can see my particles. All right, so under the viewport display should be the sizing of my particles. So pull it on up and make them like so big. So viewport display. All right, so you can see that my caching is still there because you see something happening on my plane there, right? So I got to go in here, go to my dynamic paint, and we need to delete that cache. So, no, it should have been deleted. I did delete the cache, so it should have been gone. No big deal. Now, this is already a canvas. We know that. We've already set it up. We're going to set this one up as what? We go to our modifier. That's right. It's a brush. So we got a particle system. A modifier has been applied to it to become a particle system. Now we're going to come over here and apply it as a dynamic paint. And in the dynamic paint, we're going to come right down here to the physics engine there and tell it to become a brush and then add the brush. Okay, so come to your physics engine, drop down, make it a brush, and then hit the add the brush button, which now remove brushes there because you've already added as a brush to this plane. So now if we hit play on hit the space bar and hit play, we're going to let it play just all the way to the end, see what happens. So the particles are coming down. They're going to hit the plane, and nothing's going to happen because we have to tell it a couple more things before anything happens. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to let it play all the way to 200, so we have all that there.
Where did you set the size?
That's under your viewport display. So look at your options for viewport display.
Oh.
There we go. So now I'm thinking that's coming out kind of slow. I guess I can speed it up a little bit here if I want to. So I'm thinking, let me go over here to the plane is there. It's go over here to my particles, and I suppose I can increase the mass of those particles. And I've got 2 kilograms now. I suppose if I go like, say 5 kilograms, right? Let's see what happens. Go to 1. Let's see if it's gonna fall even faster. I'm not so sure. I suppose, let's see, what do we have? A gravity option. Here's my forces. Dampening and dragging. I'm just going to just explore this here. All right, I'm going to keep that the same now. So we want this to interact with our plane on the bottom. So let me go and turn this to, let me see if I can go to just OpenGL mode here. And I'm going to tell it to turn off the wireframe so I can see the effects a lot easier. Okay, so I'm going to go to the particle. And now, let me see, another viewport display, rendered. Okay, material color. Now, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a setting in here that we're going to tell Blender that this is a particle and emitter. And under, let me see, I'm looking for that under deflection, integration, render. Hold on just a minute. Let me
What is it?
under source.
Oh,
And if you drop down under source, instead of mesh volume, particle emitter. Right there. And it sees it as a particle system. So if I play it, let's see what happens.
Source.
All right, and are we seeing anything happen? Let's find out why and why not. So I recreated two planes from scratch. I'm thinking that last one we're having problems with was some options that were set in there that just weren't letting go. This one I made 2 new planes, and you notice that the particles are these big balls already in there, which we didn't get that before. So
and the scale of both is you already froze the scale and rotation.
yeah, I didn't check. I didn't resize anything, so it's already set in stone. Scale and rotation is already set. I didn't do anything. So if I go to my, let's see, my layout mode, so I can have my, turn this around, right? I guess, see? That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, bingo was his name-o.
Yeah, it was something in the last tutorial, and I chose to keep it instead of start from fresh, and it didn't like it. Okay, cool. All right. So now we're gonna do the painting system. So this one, we're gonna come over here to the modifier. We're gonna tell it that's gonna be a dynamic paint. But this dynamic paint, we're gonna go over to the options, the dynamics for it. We're gonna tell it to be a brush and add the brush. So when we add the brush, all the options drop down, and we should leave all this by default, right? Shouldn't have to do anything else to this. We go over here. We're going to do the same thing, give it a modifier, and this modifier is also going to be a dynamic paint. We go to the dynamics tab here, and tell it to be a canvas, but add the canvas, so I get the options for the canvas. Okay. So in the canvas, the source type is going to be waves, right? And there are my options for all of my waves. Let's see if let me go over here to this emitter once again, and I'm gonna go to the. Am I in my emitter? Yes, I'm in my emitter. It's the brush here. It's here, and yeah. So volume, particle system. So the source it's going to be a particle system. There it is. That's what I was missing, guys. So once you set the source to particle system, go to the particle system itself and select the particle system.
Yeah, that works for me.
That worked. That'll work. Okay. That's what I forgot to do.
Oh, and the good news is it worked on the scene that I still had open.
Yeah.
With the sphere going through.
Right.
I had to increase my effect solid radius.
Right. I was assuming that when I clicked to start the particle system, it'll automatically bring the particle system in. It didn't. You got to go in and that was the mistake I made. See, and that now it's really rippling like crazy. So you can adjust the size. Now you can tell it to react to the size of the particle, right? So right down here it says use particle radius, right? So it should be the same. Now I'm going to go, let's see, reduce the, let me go play with the size of the particles here. Got the wave, we can play, now remember we can play with the waves. We can play with the depth changes and all that stuff. We got the velocity. We can play with that.
Oh,
what?
It is doing it. No. It's mine.
It is too.
Mine's doing it.
You're sounding confused.
I was confused. I am no longer confused.
Okay, good. So you can play with the speed, the dampening, the spring. So if I bring the spring up really high, it's really going to spring in there. So let me get rid of these wireframes. Come on, turn that back on. Go to wireframe, turn it off. There we go. All right, I want to go to the particle, and I want to reduce the size of these damn balls. Let me just stop playing here. Let's go find where that is again. I just found it. And smooth radius, alpha wellness, source, and I know it's here. Maybe I'm in the wrong section. There we go. Is that there? Here we go. It's under the particle emitter itself. Okay. And we're going to go to viewport display right there. And we're going to tell this to bring this particle size like really small like that. Okay. We already told it to react to the size of the particles, right? For the emitter itself. We go back to the emitter. See this thing, Blender's got it split up everywhere. So we go back to the emitter. We did use particle radius right there for particle systems. So if I see, boop, 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 now it's got little teeny little splashes. All right. I think I can make that random too. There's a random sizing thing. Let me go back to the particle itself. Show the emitted particle size. It should be it's rendered. Is there should be this. There's an option here to kind of make the particles at random sizes. I gotta find it. I forget exactly where it is, but you go to the physics. You got all that, and here you can play with all these options. Now, say we don't want water, right? Say instead, if we go to the viewport display, we can rent just as an FYI. We can do them as rendered, or as there we go, or we can do them. That's even better looking. Or we can go to circles, right? Render the particle as circles. We can crosses. If you want to just speed up your workflow, or just go to rendered view, which is what we've had. Okay, give me a hot minute here. Let me, and it may not be here. I think I'm going to go back on over to my brush options here. Let me go to the plane option, and in the plane option, I want the surface to react in a particular way. So right now, I've got the surface reacting as if it's water, right? It's waves. Why? Because we told it to be waves. Can we play with the waves a little bit? Okay, say I want to take the smoothness higher, right? And now look, it smooths out like milk. All right, it's almost like milk in a way. Or if you want it like thick oil or something, I can really smooth it out. And then the dampening, I can bring up the dampening to dampen the effect. Right, I bring down the dampening if I really want a lot of water effect. Increase the speed. Look at the speed. It's creating other vibrations throughout the actual fabric. Okay, so say for example, you want to build this up like snow. Snow's going to hit the ground and it's going to build up. So instead of waves, you're going to select displace. All right, we're gonna hit displace.
That's cracking me up.
All right.
I don't know what.
So displace.
So do you put it on a negative value?
Yep. So we got max displace. We go up higher, it displaces even more. All right. If it displaces, put it in negative, put the displace factor in negative, and it'll build up. It'll keep building up. So this is how you. So this is how you create snow hitting the ground.
Or
Controlling.
Mark
Right.
On skin.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that would have been. Oh.
And if I want to make it even, I want to make it subtle, just maybe just a 0.1 value.
So can you?
And every surface that it hits, it builds up at that location, just like snow would do.
You know, mine is running really slow compared to yours.
It's probably because I've got a fast graphics card. I got a very fast graphics card.
I'm still running off my laptop.
Yeah, that's going to be a issue.
Decrease. Let me see if I can decrease something here.
So if I take, for example, if I go back to my particle and go back over to the actual particle systems and go to my viewport display, And let's bring down the size of the particle even smaller. I'm going to hit my shift key and drag just a little like that. Okay, make it a little smaller. And you can see they all have different sizes. It looks like it's automatically, and you can see how it's going to build up. Now if I come back to here, the plane, all right, so my displacing, so max displace. Let's see, if I go high, let me see what happens. It really affects. If I take it down lower, all right, if I take it down this just a little lower, I can control it that way too. So displace factor, just control it with minute amount. Now I'm going to do incremental. I'm going to turn that on right about there, see what it does. See, there you go. Now it becomes more accurate to the size of your snow. See? Going incremental. I got radius for the brush collection. Let's see if we bring that down a little bit, see what happens. There you go. Look at that. Now you're controlling the radius of every little segment that pops in there. So it's 0.6 now. Let's go to like 0.47. There you go. Now it becomes a lot more accurate to the small little snow that's hitting it. Scale influence. Let's bring that down a little bit. And we can control all of that. All right. I thought you guys might enjoy that.
Thank you for showing us that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Pretty neat.
That's pretty freaking cool.
Isn't that cool?
It's very
And practical.
Yeah. Oh, very practical.
And easy to do, I think you're going to say.
Yes, easy to do.
Really nice.
Yeah, cool. So all you do now is you go to your surfaces and just texture your surfaces. So,
Yeah.
put your texture for snow on here and let it go.
Go.
Let it snow. So, for example, now check this out. Say you have a house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's explore this. I'm going to stop it. Let's bring in a cube. Not another plane, silly. Just a cube. Mesh, go to a cube. Okay, go to my edit mode. Go to edit mode here. Grab this. Grab just that piece there. That's my house. Okay. So go back to object mode. Let's go to my emitter and bring it higher. Okay. And my house is too big, so S scale. There we go. That'll work. Bring that on up right about there. Command A. Scale, rotation and scale. Okay. All right, so we're going to take this house. Ooh. Well, okay, I'm going to leave it the way it is for right now. I just had an idea. I'm going to come over here and apply my modifier, dynamic paint. All right, go over to the options for that. That's going to be a canvas as well. Add the canvas, okay? And this is going to be a displace here, right? That's going to be a displace. And it should interact. So if I come back to 0, there it is. It's working. See it? Now why is the house doing what it's doing?
Because you you don't have it as set as a negative. You have it set as
No.
the,
No?
No, it's because it's two things. Yes, and also it's going against about normals. It's about normals. Not,
It's about normals. There's no subdivisions in here. All right? So we're going to
on
have
the plane. All the normals are facing up.
That's right.
And on
And
this house, the normals are facing outwards.
also look at your planes. I go to edit mode. It's subdivided with the subdivision surface. Right? So maybe what I'm going to have to do is this. Watch this. It's just using your head. Go over here to the house. Select the house. Go to edit mode. Right? I'm going to select that roof. Both roofs. Right? And hit the P key to make it its own new object.
Mhm.
Right? Now,
right. So now you can subdivide that.
oops, sorry. Oh, come on.
Is it in Control P?
No, that's right. There's my new roof.
Okay.
All right. I may want to do 2 of these, right? So basically, let me go back. I'm gonna undo this. This is what I really want to do. All right. So I'm back in here. I want to hit Shift D to duplicate it. Right. Then go to P, make that its own separate object. Go select it there. Go select my own separate. Let me go find it over here in this view. So that one. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to call this one roof. So I'm just kind of using my head at this point, just being creative. Now I'm going to go into the roof. I'm going to edit that, right? I'm going to right click, subdivide it until like 30. Oops, I can't do anything because I haven't selected anything. So select both of them, right click, subdivide. See, does them both equally. All the way across. We're going to go something like 30. There we go, it looks good. Okay, get out of there and go back to object mode. Apply a subdivision surfaces to smooth it out, and then take it to 3. There we go. Now we're set. So we got our roof sitting on top of another, right? Sitting on top of the house. So that roof now, let me go select the roof. It's a dynamic paint's been applied to it. Let me go check and make sure it's a canvas. That's right. And then we want this to be, that's vertex, that's correct. We want it to be displace mode, right? Okay, so that should work. So now, if I play it, oh, is the house still selected as a, oops, I forgot to take dynamics off the house. All right, so we go to the house. I forgot to do that. So go over here, remove the canvas off the house completely. All right. So the house is selected. You can see add canvas as an option, which I do not want as an option. All I want is the roof to be a canvas. So here, dynamic paint canvas is added. Okay. That should work. It should work. Let's give it a try. There it is. It's working. So it's pushing on the inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to reverse it. So if we come over to the canvas, let's pull that back on up. Okay, so max displace factor, I think we want to go in the negative direction, right? Okay, so I'm just going to just pick some negative direction. There you go. So that's the roof, but it's way too big, obviously, right? Stop. So it's way too big, but we know what to do. Scale influence down, radius down. Take the radius down, scale influence down. Right? You're just kind of like working it through, and let's see what it does now. Come on, come on, come on. I must take the scale influence way down too much. Or I probably need more particles. Let's see. Scale influence radius. Take it halfway this time. So let's see what it does now. There it is. There it is. So I gotta be subtle about it. And I may need more snow to get the effect that I want, but I'm gonna have to work this. Because the snow is not hitting, it's only hitting in certain spots. So it's only hitting in certain spots. So if that's the case, you know what? Why don't we just bring this emitter straight just closer to it, right? And guarantee it's going to hit that thing. See, it's too far. Oh, what the hell? What did I do? Why is that way over there? Okay, so tab key here. It's weird. Bring it real close, right about there. That way it's not going to miss. There it is. Still too high. There we go. Let's give it a try. Yeah. So I don't have enough snow coming out, so it's hitting the ground, but it's only hitting a few places in the roof. And I can tell the roof itself, select on the roof here. Yeah, my max displace factor and all that stuff. I can probably in radius, let's see, we got displace factory, scale radius, pull that down a little bit. Okay. And the radius, that should be okay. There we go. So you got to play with it until you get it right. Does that make sense?
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Let it snow. I go back to standard mode. That way it can probably be easier to see it visually.
Everyone take notes for their digital holiday Christmas card.
That's right.
I'm using candy corn.
I did an animation for a restaurant in Las Vegas. So it's a Chinese restaurant in Las Vegas. I got it through one of the advertising companies there, and they wanted me to do it. I did it all in Lightwave, and they wanted me to do the sleigh and deer and Santa Claus, coming down from the sky and go around their restaurant logo with snow.
You did a snow in After Effects, or just
Yeah, and that was one that Jen helped me with.
Wow.
Actually, it was using a different technique.
Oh boy, it must have been a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. It was a long.
I've completely forgotten.
Yeah.
But glad if I was able to help you with any technical question at
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah. So let's play with those settings and get your snow exactly the way you want it. And mess with your resolution of your geometry so you can get the effect you want. Let me see if I click on the snow itself, right click. Let me just stop it here. Thank you. right click. Let's see what we got here. Shade smooth, auto smooth. There. And do the same thing for the plane. Do the same thing for the roof. And see if there's an effect. Yeah, there's a little bit of an effect. See, it's not so jaggedy on the edges. It's a lot smoother now. I gotta play with it. There you go. All right, so I'm gonna send a reminder notices about the next class starting in November, and about a week or so as a reminder. Now, if you know anybody who you think might want to join the class, and I just got a couple more sign-ups. I forget who they are. I'm gonna give you the link to it right now, and. Let's see, go to my links section here. Links. There we go.
It's possible that my coworker Andrew Harlow might be able to join. I don't know if he signed up though.
Okay. What is his name?
Andrew Harlow?
Andrew, let me take a look real quick. So I'm going to 3D and Substance Painter. There we go. So copy. I'm going to put that into the chat box. You can copy and paste it. Put it somewhere. You bookmark the page or put it somewhere you know you can find it. Send that off to your coworkers, and then I'm going to do another promo today for the class. Let me go check real quick. And now, and just for Tony,
Yes, sir.
I know was that you that no it wasn't you that signed. You signed up for this class already, I think.
I already signed up for it.
Yeah, it was the other guy, which he's not here today.
And I think sorry you signed up for it too, right?
Yes, he's signed up, I believe. Yeah, Zari signed up for it. It was Blender. No, he hasn't signed up quite yet. So 3, 4. I got 3 seats left in this one. The person signed up, but another person did sign up, but not for this class. He signed up for the Blender and the 3D printing class.
Oh,
Which was going to be in in 2023. So that's going to be in 2023. Yeah, it was Michael Poser. Michael. He signed up for that one. But when you guys are done with this one, we're definitely going to be going on to another aspect of Blender. But Substance Painter is going to be very handy. You're going to love it.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get started on that too.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if anybody's interested in getting into 3D printing, definitely sign up for this one as well. And if you want, I'll give you the link to that one. I think I've got it here.
Yeah. Why you just pulling me in, aren't you, Steve?
It was Jen's fault. Jen told you to do it. So
well, hey Steve, I gotta admit, it is nice having like Tony and Zari in the class.
Oh yeah.
It's a chance to kind of catch up.
Yeah.
but I because I'm so far removed from the industry, working at the college, to be able to work with you guys that are still doing that kind of stuff, really it means a lot to me, and I get to see you guys, and it's really good.
Oh well, we're glad to have you here.
Yeah.
And I'm just in this position where I'm doing it both, professionally as well as teaching it at the college. So
Oh wait, where are you teaching?
Golden West College and also at Orange Coast College. In Orange
you're in
County.
San Diego?
Yeah, I'm in San Diego, and that's in Orange County. It's like
Yeah,
smack dab in
yeah,
between.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm at Riverside City College.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've been there for 20 years now.
Oh wow. Well, I've been at Golden West for 8 years,
Okay.
and I just got hired to the Coast College, just this year. So
Are you teaching 3D?
it's
over there?
3D animation with Blender at the Coast College class.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't go to Blender. They're still gonna stick with
A
Maya.
lot of colleges are going to Blender.
Not ours.
Yeah, a lot
Ours.
of people are going to Blender now. So
Are you Autodesk, Tony?
Yeah, they're Autodesk. Yeah, they don't want to talk to me. So
Maya or Max?
Maya.
Okay,
Yeah.
that tracks. Colleges do seem to skew towards Maya.
yeah, they do. When and
Even
so
Max is more general, like for one-man bands.
and so did mine at one time. I mean, my first animation class I taught at Golden West was in Maya.
Yeah, I taught
Oh.
when I taught at RCC originally. I was teaching intro to Maya and intermediate Maya, and then I had to go finish off my master's degree, and so I had to leave teaching, and they hired somebody else, and well, they're just they're going-
Yeah. Colleges don't care.
No, they really don't.
They don't care at all.
Yeah.
I remember my dad was saying, with all your knowledge, your college should give you like an honorary degree or something. I said, Dad, colleges don't give a shit.
Yeah.
At all.
Well, all of us have a degree. All of us have PhDs from the School of Hard Knocks. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know.
And they hired me because I know what I'm doing.
Right. Right.
That's
You
I'm-
proved that you knew what you were doing.
yeah. And they couldn't. That was the main reason they hired me is because
But I'll tell you too. They will hire people who seem like they know what they're doing, but don't.
they don't.
Yeah. And then you have very ineffectual
Yeah,
programs. They're no longer doing what they were supposed to do,
yeah,
and it happens. It's sad.
yeah,
Because people go out and they expect to get a job and they can't get a job, and they
Yeah.
wonder why.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Tony, I'll put the second link for the 3D modeling class in there. So I highly recommend it. It's gonna that was
No, I wanted to get into 3D printing.
yeah.
And I kept researching, and there's a lot of white noise out there, and it's like, whoa, there's a lot of things you just gotta know, and it's like, where do you start?
Yeah. Yeah, I got 8 3D printers.
3D printers.
Yeah, I got 8 3D print. I do it professionally. So,
Jeez, what don't you do professionally?
there's a lot of things I don't do. That's how I stay out of trouble.
I hear you.
Which is something Elon Musk needs to learn, to keep his nose, just do what he does best and keep his nose out of everything else. Jeez.
Yeah.
See, not all billionaires do what he does, just Elon.
Elon Musk is a drama queen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Fully agree.
It's like,
Yeah.
shut up, dude, and go develop the space program,
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Now, I was at Maricosta College for a while, and they taught Quark Express.
Oh my gosh, I remember Quark.
And then one semester, everybody came back and they had swapped out and gone to InDesign.
Yeah.
They didn't tell anybody.
I remember when I was doing the Maya class over at Golden West, I had one of my students, he was a damn good student. He was picking up Maya pretty quickly, but he keeps saying, but I'm doing Blender, you gotta do Blender. And so I said, well, eventually I'm gonna have to learn Blender. And then when I saw Ken 9 and his team going to Blender for doing stuff, I thought, okay, so I better learn this.
If you're talking about his team on the film that he used Blender on, he was the team.
Yeah, he was the team, right?
Tony.
What film was that?
It was a low-budget, independent vampire film called Teeth and Blood.
Teeth and Blood?
I think Dave, he was the only one who did visual effects on Teeth and Blood, right?
I
think he was the only one who did visual effects on Teeth and Blood.
So can we find it on YouTube?
Yeah, and also Dave's in it, but I don't know if that part's...
Dave's in it?
Yeah, Dave was visiting on set, and they just used him as an extra.
Yeah, here it is.
It's okay. Teeth and Blood.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
I heard Dave back there in the background.
There you go.
Oh no! I gotta show my roommate this. This is gonna be great.
I've heard of a new series on Netflix called Bastard Son of the Sun.
Except for one thing.
Empire.
Thirst.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
People are saying it's kind of like an adult version of Harry Potter.
They need more blood in this film.
Well, keep playing. No,
Keep
keep
play-
playing it.
keep playing it?
There's probably a visual effect. No, it's not me. If you see
Hey.
visual effects, Ken did it.
They got a black cast in here. That could be. Well, how could it go wrong?
So Ken probably did that one. Yeah, Ken probably did the teeth. If the teeth
Okay, so is Dave coming up?
Wait, did you in the middle of the trailer? Say hi to everyone, dude.
Hey, Dave.
So when does Dave come up?
Oh no, he like I said, he was just an extra. Okay, so yeah, that's probably Ken's work right there.
Okay.
Ken Stranahan. That's who I was thinking of earlier. Ken Stranahan.
Oh,
Wait,
Ken
wait,
Stranahan.
no, Ken. No, this is Ken 9.
Ken Nine.
I know. But at the very beginning, I was trying to think of Ken Stranahan's name, and I couldn't think of it because of John Van Vliet and
Now-
Glenn Campbell.
Who's Ken Stranahan?
Ken is actually Lee. So back in the day when Toaster was the rage, Lee Stranahan was a big
Oh, you
deal.
said Lee Stranahan. You said Ken Stranahan.
Ken is
Ken
his little
And then
brother.
Ken Stranahan is his little brother, who's just a phenomenal lightweight artist. He's just a phenomenal artist.
Yeah, Lee Stranahan went on to work for Breitbart.
Oh,
Yeah, he got into the right wing white racist stuff.
woo!
So he became a reporter and then got fired from legitimate newspapers because of his conspiracy theories. It was a big to do all over the internet, and then he started doing a podcast or something after that, and it was all this right wing white supremacy stuff, and then Breitbart hired him to be one of their reporters. Yeah,
Ken is Lee's estranged brother.
yeah, I can see why.
Yeah, Ken's a really good guy, and he's just,
Lee is a whack job.
oh yeah, definitely. He was when I first met him, and he was still